Engaging with hurting people is wonderful and challenging. You do need to know your motive and know your story. It's also vital that you know your limits. It's important to know what you can offer and what you must not offer. The last thing we want to do is to do harm, and sometimes our intentions betray us. We want to be helpful, and we end up going beyond what we can reasonably expect to do. We promise more than we deliver. In this sense, it's better to promise less and deliver more. It's good to know when to say no and when to say, I don't know. Limitations are painful for all of us, and especially when we have a heart of compassion. We would love to be able to promise the moon, to make everything right. But this is a big mistake. We can only do what we can do. Thankfully, the kingdom of heaven acknowledges small things. Jesus says that if you give a cup of cold water in my name, you'll be rewarded. Don't think because you can't do everything that you should do nothing. Instead, knowing your limitations allows you to engage with a sense of humility. When Jesus encountered a man who couldn't walk at the pool of Bethesda in John chapter 5, he asked him a probing question. Do you want to get well? And it's important for us to realize that our capacity to be of help depends more on the heart of the person we serve than even on what we have the power to give. Jesus frequently told people, your faith has saved you. Go in peace. Or challenge them, according to your faith, be it done unto you. He was very aware that though he had the power of the universe, that people's ability to engage healing was fully dependent on their ability to activate faith in the process. He said, if you knew you were blind, I could help you see. But because you say, I see, I have nothing to offer. When he went to his own hometown of Nazareth, he could do very little because there was a lack of faith. He knew his limitations. In fact, in John chapter 5, he says something very powerful about his limitations. Verse 19 says this, Jesus gave them this answer, very truly I tell you, the Son can do nothing by himself. He can only do what he sees his Father doing, because whatever the Father does, the Son also does. He has what I think of as an abstinence mentality. He says, I only do what I see the Father doing. Sometimes we just feel like if there's a need, I have to fill it. But Jesus showed restraint. He understood that it was very important for him not to step into an arena that was not given him. He knew that he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and that he had to say no to other opportunities in the world at that time. Each of us must know our limits. We must know what we've been called to and what is someone else's field of action or service. Very important for us to be able to say no with grace. And I want to challenge you to practice setting healthy limits. Practice saying no to the good things so that you have room to say yes to the best things. One of the things that helps me is to practice saying to people, I have a prior commitment. If they ask me to engage in activity that misses the mark or misses the bullseye of God's design for my time and my experience, my investment of resources, then my prior commitment is to honoring God with my time and honoring the relationships that are vital and central to me. My relationship with Him, my relationship with my wife, my children, and those others that God has given me. Jesus carved out time to be with those He loved and to do exactly what He knew the Father was asking Him to do. Practice knowing your limits, practice setting limits, and practice saying no with grace.